right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life.
Hello and welcome to Live Life Driven. Thanks for tuning in this week. Appreciate it. I think I'm 2 weeks behind on a Live Life Driven episode. I apologize for that. I'm actually producing 3 other podcasts. If you're into politics, you can listen to Liberty or Lose. That's a conservative podcast that I'm putting out. You can find it on, you can find it on all the majors, but Spotify is probably the number one. I'm also working with a couple state representatives here in Montana, producing some shows for them. One of them is called Life and Politics with John Fuller. Had a lot of fun with John doing that one. And then finally is the 406 Political Axiom with Matt Regier. So having a good time doing my thing. I get these, what they call AndyGrams from Andy Frisella. And I've brought up Andy a number of times on my podcast. I love his shows. It's one of the only shows I actually listen to because I like his content and it's complete and it just resonates with me. I would highly recommend, if you're not a regular podcaster, I suppose you're a podcaster of sorts if you're listening to this, but if you're not a regular podcaster, maybe look around and find something that really fits with you and you get a lot out of it. I'm hoping that I'm able to provide some of that for you. But Andy's got his show, The Real AF. And what's cool about Andy is he backs the show up with a daily AndyGram, which is an email. And it's funny because sometimes Andy will send like a book in the AndyGram, and then sometimes it's like 5 words. And they always seem to hit home, but sometimes it's only 5 words. I'm like, I was hoping for more today, or maybe I needed more. But then sometimes those 5 words are perfect. And, I'm going to use this show a little bit like the AndyGram. I'm going to start by reading a recent AndyGram that he sent over, and then I'm going to allow that to resonate. I'm going to talk very little after that. This is going to be a very short show, and I just want it to resonate a little bit. So let me read this AndyGram, and then I'll say a few things, and we're going to call it a day because I'm hoping that you'll just get out of it what was intended. So this AndyGram is titled Protect Your Energy. And I love that in the political and COVID environment we live in currently. Protect your energy. Unfriending every single person who spits out negativity, either online or in real life, is one of the best things that you can do to speed up your progression. It has been a great catalyst for my success, both in business and in my personal life. Every post that you see online, every piece of content that you consume, every comment that you read, every conversation that you have either adds to your energy or takes away from it. We only have so much energy in a day, and the successful people I know are extremely diligent about how they spend their energy and who or what they give their time to. Don't waste your time with people who are always whining, always complaining, and always talking about how hard they have it in life. Instead, surround yourself with people who are grateful for all the good things in life, people that are always looking at the brighter side and always convert their challenges into opportunities to level up in life. If you don't cut the negativity out, it will drain you of your energy and ultimately cost you the version of your life you dreamt about now. So I love that because it seems like there's people draining energy out there all day, every day, as it relates to politics and people's opinion on COVID and how we're going to come out of this and how we go about our work and our school and everything else. It's interesting because I'm living that right now. My wife just launched a new clothing apparel company. If you don't know, we're fairly conservative up here in Montana. Her clothing company is called Liberty or Lose. You can find it at libertyorlose.com. It's an apparel company. It's got shirts and pins and hats and stuff like that. And she's basically voicing her opinion about politics. And I love it. I love that she has a voice. But within 2 weeks, she's been canceled out by a bunch of negative people throwing stones at her just for her exercising her constitutional right of the First Amendment, right? Speaking what she believes in. And it's really sad. But you know what? Let's not spend our time around negative people and dwelling on that. One of the things that I teach in my coaching classes, and I learned this from David Meltzer, and it's something that I practice. When you wake up every single morning, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. If you can start your day with that positive energy, it's guaranteed that you will carry that out throughout your day and how you feel about your day and who you surround yourself with. It'll be harder to be around negative people when you look at how many things you're grateful for each and every day. And those could be the same things, and they could be as simple as a roof over your head, a meal on the table, or that you've woken up next to your loved one or your kids. It can be extravagant as well. You've got a flourishing bank account or a great job and all these wonderful things surrounding you. But keep your energy positive. Weed out the negative energy. If you're really good at it, you'll do the same thing before you go to bed at night, because that's going to resonate with you in your dreams and your thoughts as you go to sleep. So I've always said stay away from negative people. I've always pushed myself away from those type of people. I learned that in a book called The 48 Laws of Power. And, I used to say you got to cut the draggers. So let's leave it at this. Let's focus on getting the negative energy out of our lives. Let's focus on making things positive for yourself and those around you. Maybe do something for somebody else that they didn't ask for. Maybe it's a stranger. Maybe it's just buying that cup of coffee in line, as we've heard so many people do. Maybe it's a little bit more extravagant than that. So let's get the negativity out of our lives. Thanks for tuning in. I've got a great new podcast guest coming up on the next episode of Live Life Driven. And The Answer is Yes. Please listen to The Answer is Yes show. The next one coming up, you're going to love it. Thank you. Have a great week.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know?
This episode of The Answer is Yes brought to you by Baja Bound Insurance Services. Driving to Mexico? You can buy and print out your Mexican auto insurance policy online in minutes with their easy-to-use website. They also have great travel information to help you plan your trip south of the border. Visit BajaBound.com.